Hey everybody, trying to get things sort of lined up, ready to go, but I'm not having much luck. Anyway, I've been cooking again. I made y'all something. I wish you could come over and share it with us so we wouldn't eat it all. Pineapple upside down cake. Yum! I think you are going, the recipe is so simple. But let me tell you a little bit about recipes. For me, recipes are just a guideline. If I know that sounds weird, but I'm not scared of messing up a recipe. Like yesterday, I made I'm gonna have to put my chair up higher. I made dressing, or was it the day before yesterday? It was yesterday. Anyway, I made this dressing, and if it turns out a little crumbly, crumble it all back up, add an egg to it and some more broth, and put it back in the oven. You're not gonna mess things up. You're just not gonna mess things up. All you gotta do is just not be afraid. Not be afraid to get in the kitchen. I mean, when you think about who can tell me how much a bag of flour costs? I don't go to the grocery store, so I don't know. How much is a bag of flour? $2.79 or something? And it's probably got, I would say, 12 cups of flour in it. I don't know. Sometimes I'm going to just measure. I'm going to measure how many cups of flour are in a big bag, how many are in a big bag of flour. And you divide that out, and you're probably looking at less than 20 cents per cup of flour. And I just ate a cherry. 20 cents. And if you can spend, with 2 cups of flour, which would be about 50 cents, say, 2 eggs, how much is, a dozen eggs? An egg is probably around, let's just say they're 10 cents a piece. That's $1.20 for a dozen eggs. Something's not working here. I'm going to have to take my iPad off so I can put it right here. So you see, eggs, flour, sugar, it's the basis of everything. Now, in the video I just made for everybody, making a pineapple upside down cake, if I had used a cake mix, it would have been too much for my pan. Now, you could make 2 pans, one a small skillet and then another skillet, but I just wanted to make enough, so I didn't have a yellow cake mix and I didn't want to use my white cake mix, so I made up a recipe. I kind of had a guideline for a recipe in my Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, but I just divided it out to where I didn't even have to get precise. And I have a proportion recipe. I've been making this skillet cake forever and ever. Say you're just hungry for cake. And skillet cake, you cook it in an iron skillet. But you don't really use pineapples or anything like that. But this is a cake recipe I've been making for 40 years. It's 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar. So that's a 2-to-1 proportion. And if you're going to use 2 cups of flour, use 2 eggs. And if you're going to use a cup of sugar, use a cup of liquid. This liquid that I used in my pineapple upside down cake was part pineapple juice and milk. Stir it up together. Add a little vanilla flavoring. There you got a yellow cake. 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar. Stir the dry stuff together. And you just keep it simple. You keep it simple. And put it in a hot skillet and put it in the oven, just like you'd make cornbread. And you got a cake. You can drizzle it with like a chocolate glaze that you can make with cocoa and powdered sugar and cream, and stir it together and drizzle it with that. You got a simple dessert. Now, I know we're all cutting out on carbs, but once a week you can have dessert. I give you permission to have dessert once a week. It doesn't have to be fruit either. So, folks, don't be afraid to play in your kitchen. And if your kitchen is clean, you don't mind getting in there and playing. And I have. Somebody says they're trying to contact us about an order they've placed. Send an email to orders@flylady.net. That's the best way to get through to Kathy. Kathy is right on top of things, and that's how you got to get it. Or give your email address to Liz, and Liz will send it to Kathy with your question. Okay. So I've got some questions here. A bunch of questions. And I got my trusty little iPad. Okay. How do I get ready for the holidays when the scarce money I need for cards and presents won't come fully until the end of November? Christmas isn't all about buying stuff. You can organize your presents. You can organize your ornaments, your decorations that you already have. You can make things real simple. Like I just said, flour doesn't take a whole lot of money. It just doesn't. And if you'll start planning your meals, I've been harping on this, and I say harping because I've been trying to drill it into your head that if you will menu plan and utilize the food that's in your pantry and in your freezers, you will have enough money from not having to buy groceries this week to start doing some of the things you need to do. And don't whine. Just don't whine about it. Because a lot of us, I never did have a whole lot of money to get ready for Christmas. But I could still clean my house. That didn't cost money. I could still organize my ornaments and things. I've even made Christmas ornaments with plaster of Paris and salt, and there's lots of things you can do if you'll quit feeling sorry for yourself. You heard it. I'm just going to put it right out there. When we get off our pity pots, we can get some stuff done. And I've been trying to tell you in a nice way for the last 3 weeks that we got to get started now and not wait. Because if you wait, you're going to be in a bigger pickle than you are come November, the end of November. So stop it. Stop it now and get started. Holiday missions are coming up. You got Christmas cards everywhere. I've got 2s and 3s of cards that didn't get sent for several years, and they're in a box right up there. And I can get them out and use them. I don't have to buy Christmas cards this year. Okay, so main thing is you got to quit feeling sorry for yourself. Is there an update on the pink rags? Pink rags should be in sometime in November, but I don't have a date yet, but they're getting close. We hadn't canceled it. I'm excited. I'm so excited about it. I'm planning on videos to show you how to use them. Yes, Patty and I were talking about it last night, that when the pink rags get in, I'm going to teach you how to put on makeup. Yeah, I'm going to teach you how to put on makeup. Okay. Let's see. I'm a Southern girl too. I learned to cook with onions as a base for most everything. I tell my husband every day, you know, if I don't have an onion, I can't cook. So I know exactly where you're coming from. Let's see. However, my husband is allergic to onions. Help. What can I substitute for onions? Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I don't have a clue what you would substitute for onions. Wow, that's an interesting idea, because if it's an onion, it's in that family, and I is he allergic to garlic too? So I don't know what you would use. You just leave. Now, my Rebecca at the office, she doesn't like the taste of onions. She's not allergic to them. She just doesn't like them, so she doesn't cook with them. So you just leave onions out, I guess. How do I keep up with my house cleaning when top of the hour is not nearly enough to get there? You're looking at the whole picture. You're looking at everything. If you need help getting your house in order, do crisis cleaning. Now this is 15 minutes in the kitchen, 15 minutes in the living room, and 15 minutes in your main bathroom. When you do that, and then 15 minutes to rest, you can start to pull the house together, but set your timer for 15 minutes, and every 15 minutes get up and just do 2 minutes. And if you'll do that, your house is going to stay together. Quit thinking about the whole thing and just play a game with yourself. Where's my jar? See all these little cards and little tiles in here? My husband made me 24 tiles. And you can buy these things, but you can get a piece of paper and do the same thing. You don't need a tile. And just write down all the things write down your morning routine, your afternoon routine, your before bed routine, your weekly home blessing, and put them all in a jar, and just every 15 minutes pull one out and go do it. The main thing is you got to get up off your butt. You got to get up. Well, my sister told me she's been too sedentary for a while now, and we got to get up and move more. And she said, "Are you with me?" And I said, "Yeah, maybe." Robert said the same thing the other day. Okay. Oh, let's see. Yes, 2 minutes can get you there if you will get up and do it and quit complaining about it. In the time it took her to write the question, she could have gotten some stuff done in your house. Practice using the 2-minute method. The 2-minute method is powerful. It's just phenomenal. Someone just posted a private question. Y'all can't post private questions to me while I'm talking, because it gets me sidetracked. You can send them to Liz after this is over, and she'll put them in next week's stuff, but I get sidetracked. She just wanted to know how to clean her TV screen. Well, guess what? Purple Rag does it wonderfully. It's an amazing tool. Even a chenille mop cloth will do a great job of cleaning your TV screen. And you just do it dry and get the dust off. How do I make beans and rice? Are canned beans okay to use? Yes, if you want to use them, they're fine. I've taught you how to make pinto beans, but black beans and rice, red beans and rice. Red beans are cheap. Cans of beans are cheap too. So you got to get some Cajun seasonings in them and pour them over, cook a pot of rice. Now, rice is another one of those proportion things. 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. Bring the water to boil, pour the rice in with a dollop of butter in it. Put the lid on it, turn it down on as low as you can get it. Set your timer for 20 minutes and your rice is done. You got to put the lid on it, but don't pick the lid up. And that's how you make beans and rice. I have a self-cleaning oven, but I don't want to use it Use that setting. I come from a family of firefighters so that I can use it safely. So what can I use to safely clean it? You know, that self-cleaning switch would not be on your oven unless it was safe. Do you hear me? These things are tested. And I didn't like to use them either, but it really gets my oven clean. And then you just wipe it out. A lot of things about keeping your oven clean is about cleaning up the spills as they happen or being prepared for the spills. Like I just make this pineapple upside down cake. And underneath the cake, I put another skillet to catch the drippings as it fell off of this cake because I knew it was going to spill over. And it's just a little bit of sugar oozing out the side. So I caught it in a skillet and I poured a little water in the skillet so that it wouldn't burn. I knew it was going to do it. You can put an aluminum pan underneath whatever you're cooking. Sweet potatoes are bad to ooze and make places in your oven. But as soon as they mess up, let the oven cool down. And I've got a video about cleaning my oven with a purple rag without using the cleaning area. And I'm going to get my ovens good and clean before I do Thanksgiving too, when it cools off enough. I like to use the self-cleaning feature when it's cold out, so it helps warm the house. It's starting to smoke when I preheat it, so it needs cleaned ASAP. Spray it down with a little water, and you might even take a spatula and scratch things up that are on there. But wipe it out when the messes happen, and wipe out the. If you'll use your fan and turn the self-cleaning thing on, you're gonna see what a wonderful job it does. I am blessed to have an opportunity to help my boss's mother-in-law. I can live in her apartment in exchange for keeping the apartment clean and helping with breakfast and dinner. I need help establishing a cleaning schedule. The apartment is small. What is the best way to do this? I need to create a very structured routine to hold myself accountable. I know there is never mind, that's the next thing. Do what we do. Do a basic morning routine, an afternoon routine, and a before bed routine. This is going to help maintain your house. And then do a weekly home blessing hour on Mondays and Fridays. Yes, that way it's just 2 minutes, 15 minutes worth of things. In a small apartment, it's plenty of time. And just work with the zone. So if we're in, like this week, we're in the master bedroom, you'd clean her room. And then you clean your room. And get the dust, do the missions as we go through them. And you're going to have a routine. Follow the mission and stay in the zone we're in. And the little apartment is going to be amazing. Listen, I know you have a simple recipe for crock pot beef stroganoff. Could you please repeat that for us who have short-term... I have a video. And the video is how to make hamburger meat in your crock pot. At the end of it is my hamburger stroganoff. I take 2 cups of the ground hamburger meat that's pre-cooked. I add a can of golden mushroom soup. I like the brown color of this. And then to that, I add some cream cheese. But I don't really cook it. I stir the soup into the ground beef, and then I just dot the cream cheese on it and just set it on warm, and it all melts together, and stir it up and serve it over cooked noodles. How easy is that? Okay. Where do I find your brown paper for wrapping Christmas gifts? I get it by the roll on Amazon. It's called craft paper, and it's quite inexpensive. And I don't see a roll handy, but hey, I do have a roll, and I keep a roll all the time. How early can the turkey be cooked before a holiday without it drying out. Well, my turkey never dries out. I use Leanne's recipe. If you want Leanne's recipe, go to savingdinner.com or send me an email with turkey in the subject line, and I'll send you Leanne's turkey whole Thanksgiving dinner recipes. What I do is I cook it the day before because I don't want my kitchen to be smelly on the day of Thanksgiving. And I don't want my ovens tied up. I've got 2 ovens. I do it all the day before. And I take it off the bone and put it in a 13x9 pan. And I put a little turkey broth, chicken broth or whatever, about a half a cup down in the bottom, and seal it up and put it in my refrigerator. And then I take my turkey carcass and put it in a stock pot and start cooking that the day before Thanksgiving. Let's see. Justin's going to do you a video on how to fry turkey too. We talked about that this morning. How do you keep a good attitude when you're having to do everything in the house? And how do I get my family to help? Well, you got to be thankful you got a family. Single parents do it all by themselves. They do it every bit by themselves. Military spouses do it by themselves. They even have babies by themselves. So if you would quit whining about the family not helping, you're going to get more help when you change your attitude toward them. You've got to change your attitude toward them because you're pushing them away. They're not going to want to help you if you're going to be a nag. But you can get them involved by making it fun and not piling on. Piling on is the worst thing you can do. When you tell a kid they only need to help for 5 minutes and you turn it into 15 minutes, that's your fault. So let's start making a game out of everything. Did you ever read the book where Tom Sawyer was whitewashing a fence and he was having so much fun at it, everybody wanted to jump in and help? He was a great persuader, as Scott Adams would say. He made it look like it was fun. And before you know it, he had the family, he had everybody helping him. And the fence was whitewashed in no time at all. So let's change our attitudes and smile. Put a smile on your face, a whistle. What did the little dwarves whistle while you work? Say that 3 times. Whistle while you work. Make it look fun and quit whining about it. I'll never forget, we got a testimonial, or it was a friend of a friend, but it was a testimonial about a little girl, and she's helping mommy fold clothes. And I don't know if I can do this sitting in a chair, but she grabs her daddy's underwear and she starts to fold it. Well, mommy says, I'll fold daddy's underwear. And she puts her little hands on her hips and she shakes her little head and she says, well, I might as well learn how to do it now. This is an 8-year-old child. I might as well learn how to do it now because I'm going to have to be doing it the rest of my life. Where did she hear that? Yep. Where did she hear that? Your kids are watching. And when you have a whiny, naggy attitude about things, you're pushing them away. You need to stop that and stop it right now. Do you hear me? You've got to change this attitude that I'm the only one that does anything around here. And be thankful that you have clothes to fold. Be thankful that you have food to cook. Be thankful that you have dishes to wash. Because those babies are going to grow up and you're going to be a lonely old person. Because you've pushed them all away their whole childhood. So pay attention to how you're speaking to your family. It's going to change everything. And if you can't get a curb on your mouth, put some tape over your lips. Yep, I said it. Put a dress label. Pam and Peggy used to do this and draw big red smiley lips on their face so they wouldn't talk, because they knew when they said something, it was going to hurt somebody's feelings. So check those words before they come out of your mouth. Okay. How do I keep oh no, I already did that one. Should my kids get to buy their dad their own gift by shopping and using a budget? They are 6 and 10 years old. Well, you're the one, if they've saved their money, they can do it. They can put their money together and do it. Learning to budget themselves, it's never too early to start teaching that. You know, it's never too early. But they don't know what things cost if they haven't been in stores to buy things. So let them think about what they want to get for their parents. And maybe have the other parent take them shopping, or go on Amazon and look around together. Okay, I'm out of questions. So, have you got any questions? Or I can go in the kitchen and make another video. Now, this morning I sent out an email about the tools that we have in our shop that help you in the kitchen. Well, this is one of them. And the Rubber Scrubber BOGO is going away on Halloween. Got that? Halloween is the last day for the Rubber Scrubber BOGO. These are great Christmas presents. Get them ordered. Put one in your cart and we'll send you two. There's even a place on the back to label them. If this one's for the dog or the cat, or if this one's for the vegetables in the kitchen, or scrubbing out dough bowls, or for your bathtub to do your elbows and knees. Even bald-headed people like their head rubbed with this thing. Little girls have gotten tangles out of their hair with this thing. I can't believe that, but hey, where's my brush? I use a dog brush. Safari pet brush. I've been using a brush like this since I was 12 years old, and my hair was down to my bottom. So this is going away. I wash dishes with a purple rag. I always put a clean one in my dishwater. And it's a great way to get the purple out of it when you put a new one in your dishwater. We have our office in a bag. This one's full of my favorite recipes. This is my recipes in here. And in the next week, I'm going to teach you how to make pot roast. I'm going to teach you how to make a lot of things. And a lot of times I don't have recipes. I just have to think them up. Like the cake one I did today. I didn't really have a recipe, but I knew the proportions. I knew how it would work. And then we have grocery bags. They're 3 purple ones and 2 black insulated ones, and they are great. And they're a pretty color purple too. And I keep forgetting, Robert put them in our bedroom. I don't know why, but they're in our bedroom. And this is the best thing of all. It's a calendar. And with your calendar, you can menu plan. And menu planning is the best way to save money. If you're not menu planning, you're throwing money away. You really are. And let's eat out of our pantries and out of our freezers. It's going to change your whole life when you do this. Look it up. Somebody's asking a question on there. I read an essay about getting ready for the stomach virus. We have several essays on our website, and it's called A Day at the Beach. And let me explain to you how that works. Get one of those plastic beach bags. You've probably got one somewhere in your decluttering pile. And add to it little things, a pail and a shovel, a roll up float. Because when you got a kid that's sick and they're laying on the bathroom floor on a beach towel, grab your beach towels and put in the bag. Because they can cover up with a beach towel. They can lay on an air mattress. They can even get in the bathtub and lay on an air mattress. And then it's like a day at the beach. You use the shovel. You can pay them $1 if they hit the bucket, if they've got to throw up. But if your toilet's clean, they've got to learn that feeling. I know it's a terrible feeling, but when you know it, when you've had it happen to you, if you've never had it happen to you, you don't know what's going on. But pay them $1 if they hit the bucket. That's less mess for you to clean up. And it'll teach them how to learn that feeling that's happening. And, make it comfortable for them. And get some electrolytes in your pantry, or even put them in this bag. Some Gatorade packets, some clear Gatorade, not blue, not red. Just and if you're going to give them some juices, it needs to be clear juices like white grape juice diluted, not full strength grape juice, diluted. And ginger ale, get some ginger ale in this bag. And then have some Pedialyte pops, because dehydration is the worst thing when people can't keep anything down. So dehydration is the key here. So take care of this stuff. Get it in your house. Put it on your grocery list. And Emitrol is good to have for nausea. And talk to your doctor about what they suggest. And clean sheets. And that's why putting them in the bathtub with a air mattress and, pool toys is good. Let me see if anybody's posted any more questions to me on my... Okay, flip it around. Okay, I don't see any more questions, folks. So what do you want to learn to cook next? I'm thinking about making a marinated flank steak for dinner. And I've got it thawing right now, and I'm going to marinate it right quick. And I have a fun tool that I use. It's a griddle, but it's got grooves in it. It looks like a grill. And I get that thing good and hot, and I throw my steak on there, and I flip it over, and then I slice it at an angle. And it is a wonderful, nice piece of meat. I'm going to teach you how to make heart attack mashed potatoes too. And I'm going to teach you how to make potato soup. And I'm going to teach you how to make a roast beef with gravy. Now, here's the thing. Roast beef, pot roast, is only as good as the gravy you put on it. Now, there are lots of different gravies. A lot of people like to use an onion soup mix. I like to make my own gravy. I like to make an onion gravy, but I make a gravy kind of like I did the chicken gravy the other night in my video. You stir it up and I use water for this gravy. I don't use milk. I use water. And you put some Worcestershire in it. You put a little soy sauce to kind of turn it brown. You chop up some onions. And I use this stuff called, it's like beef bouillon, but it's a paste. And I can't think of the name of it. But when I show you how to do this, Robert's going to bring me home beef roast. And I'm going to show you how to make a beef roast. But I get the gravy. But first I take my flour and pepper and cayenne, and I put it all over the roast in a bag. And I use about a cup of flour, and I just put it in a Ziploc bag and pound it all over it. And I take some olive oil in a pan, and that olive oil in the pan, and I brown the beef. That sears in the juices, and then from that, I make my gravy. And this gravy is so good. And if you don't have this little jar of stuff, I'll have to show it to you. I can't think of what it's called. If you don't have it, I used to use bouillon cubes or bouillon powder. Better than bouillon. Thank you so much, Amanda. It's better than bouillon. And it's just a little paste that you mix up. It doesn't have any MSG in it. I can't use MSG. And it is to die for. And it's brown, and it just makes this rich gravy. And I take my onions, and I know there's one person that can't use onions, but I take my onions and slice them up real thin. Little wedges is what I like to use. And I put it in the gravy and stir it around until I got a lot of it. And I pour it over the beef roast that's in the crock pot. And I wash some red potatoes, not white potatoes. They have to be red potatoes. Scrub them real good because I like to keep the skins on them. And I take the skin off of some carrots, and I put them in there. Or if I've got a bag of carrots, I'll pour a whole bag of carrots, because that's my favorite part of a beef roast are the carrots. And you stick it in the crock pot. If you've got all today to cook, put it on low. If you've only have 5 hours, put it on high. And then you can make some biscuits to go with it, and you have the yummiest dinner ever. Everybody's going to think it takes you 15 minutes to throw this together. That's it. 15 minutes to put it together, and you're good to go. Now, some people like to use a can of soup here and a can of soup there. That's fine. But once you learn how to make gravy, you never have to depend on a can of soup. All you need is flour. Seasoned flour that you put on your beef roast, and some water. And some olive oil. And the best olive oil in the world is my olive oil hunter. I'm going to send an email about that again. He just got back from Australia. Look at that. This is some good olive oil. And it makes a great roast. Plus, it's good making a vinaigrette too. So folks, let's take care of some business here. Let's get some cooking done. Let's have some fun. Get that kitchen clean. That's half the battle, starting with a clean kitchen. You don't mind getting in there and cooking when you got a clean kitchen. So tonight I'm going to make this little flank steak. It's not a very big one. And I'm just going to sear it on 2 sides after it's been marinated for about an hour. And then I'm going to make some oven roasted potatoes. And I'm going to make some oven roasted Brussels sprouts. Robert loves Brussels sprouts. So that's what I'm making for dinner. A flank steak and some oven roasted potatoes. And what I do with my oven roasted potatoes, I put them in a bag. Now get this, put Ziploc bags. I love Ziploc bags. Put them in a Ziploc bag, cut them up into quarters. Like I use little round ones and cut them up into quarters, put them in the bag, and you can pour some herbs in there, salt and pepper, and maybe some thyme or some oregano, and some garlic. Put some olive oil in there, toss them around. You can put them in your iron skillet and stick them in the oven and cook at 350 for about 45 minutes. And you got dinner cooked. In fact, I'm going to be using the oven to make dinner, so I'm going to try to put everything in the oven at the same time. So folks, I'll have Brussels sprouts and roasted potatoes and flank steak. and it will be a good dinner. Well, I don't have another thing to say. How about you? Any more questions? Let me look on my iPad here, see if I got any more questions posted. No, I don't see any more questions. Let me see if I can show you my upside down cake. Let me pineapple upside down cake. Look at here. Get it going. Today we're going to make a pineapple upside down cake. I know it sounds difficult, but it's not. And here's the recipe. 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, a couple eggs, a couple sticks of butter. It's simple if you'll just follow my little directions. Mix your flour and your sugar together. Stir it up good. And then drain your pineapple slices into a cup. And then fill that cup of pineapple liquid the rest of the way with milk. And then you're going to have a cup of milk to add to your flour and sugar mixture. Add a couple of eggs and some melted butter, a stick of butter, into that batter. Throw another stick of butter in that pan because you're going to need it in a minute. Stir it all together and set it aside. Now we're going to make the topping to pour this batter over. You're going to need some brown sugar, some cherries, some pineapple. You've already opened up the pineapple. Here's the recipe. It's quite simple. You're going to melt a stick of butter in that pan. Now this pan has to be able to go into the oven. So I use a skillet of some kind. Pour brown sugar into the butter and stir it until it dissolves or sort of melts. You don't have to get it bubbly or anything. Then you're going to add your pineapple slices to this butter and sugar. Add some cherries. They can be maraschino cherries. I had some dried cherries from Christmas and I was going to use those. Then gently pour your batter over the pineapple and cherries and stick it in the oven for 45 minutes until a skewer comes out clean. That way you know it's done. Now set it on your stove and get your platter and turn it upside down on top of it, and then you're going to gently flip it. You might need some help, but gently flip it and then easily take the pan off, and you're going to have pineapple upside down cake. Do not allow it to cool or you'll never get it out of the pan. So have fun with this. It's a great dessert. Talk to you later. See, that's what I did this morning. That's what I did. I made you a cake. So everybody, the pan doesn't have to be greased because you melted butter in it. It doesn't have to be greased because you melted butter in it. It's just common sense. And if you get it hot, nothing's going to stick anyway. Okay, folks. Y'all have fun. I'm going to get off of here. And I've used a cake mix too, but a cake mix is sometimes too much batter. Quick hamburger meal idea. I already gave you one. Hamburger stroganoff. It's easy. Can of cream of it's cream of golden mushroom soup and some cream cheese or some sour cream, either one. And serve it over noodles. Y'all have fun, and I'm going to get back in the kitchen. I love you all. I will talk to you tomorrow. I got sugar on my face. See you later.